Picking homeschool curriculum for your high schooler is time-consuming and overwhelming. I know this because I've been doing this since the 90s. Hi, my name is Michelle Holmes, and this is the High School Curriculum Spotlight Podcast. Each episode, I plan to bring you interviews with vendors who can help you provide a successful and positive high school experience for your teens at home. So let's see how you can utilize today's vendor in your homeschool journey. Hello and welcome to the podcast. It is my privilege today to introduce to you Candice Dugger. And she has a program that you as a homeschool parent can use for your teen to help start their own business. It's a win. They get to start their own business and you as the parent get to count it as a credit on their high school transcripts. So I'm excited that you're here today, Candice. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I always love being with you. You bring so much value to our homeschool community and in all that you do. So I am just honored to be here and share with you just what we're doing and kind of helping our kids really get some foundational skills as they're launching.
Oh, great. So Candice, you are a homeschool parent yourself. And so I love interviewing vendors who have products because you know what a homeschool parent faces and their challenges and what you're hoping to accomplish so we can get things on our kids' high school transcripts. So talk to us a little bit about you and why did you decide to start developing this program that you have? What is it called? And give us all that good information.
All the download deets. Yeah. So a little bit about me. I know your community may have met me before. My name is Candice Dugger. I am a mom of two who left the corporate world. I used to run multi-million to billion-dollar sales teams. And I left the corporate world when I had a health illness. And during that time, I saw how much my son was really hurting and struggling. And he had a very serious health crisis, a really serious mental health crisis. And we actually almost lost our son. It was during that time we pulled him out of public school and brought him home. And we started on that journey for healing, right? And so really my heart in the families I serve and what we're looking to do is to always serve families whose children sometimes just don't feel like they fit in. They don't really feel like they fit in anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So my son came home, he could hardly write a sentence. He had a very extensive IEP, he had dyslexia, dyscalculia, all the things. And through our healing process, he actually wrote his first book and he published his first book under a pen name because he wasn't really ready to tell his story under his name at that time. And that process of us helping him heal and see himself and grow his self-confidence in a way is unbelievable. And so he started there. He launched two other businesses. I just graduated him in December, but he's still very involved in our work and he'll actually be mentoring kids in our program. But he started his business, he launched it, he grew it. And we used entrepreneurship and still do for a vital and part of my kids' education. Because if you can get them excited about one thing, you can set them on fire and they can learn the world. So then a couple of years later, I brought my other son home who was on the spectrum. He was 9. He also launched his own book. He has his own pet product line. He is a speaker. And we have used that even for children with disabilities to really grow in just understanding themselves and finding their purpose and passion. Mm-hmm. And so the work I do started with our work at Bullied, Broken, Redeemed, where I equip and train leaders on bullying, mental health, and its impact on social media. And then from there, families wanted to know how to homeschool, right? Because they're all like, oh, well, this is working for your kid. And then through that, so many kids were like mine, Michelle. They come home and they're not engaged in academics. They don't want to do anything. They feel like it's just a waste of time. Why do I have to do this? Or they feel they have learning differences that hold them back. And so several years ago now, I've started coaching kids one-to-one on starting their own businesses, and I love it. But I found there's a much better way if we can get kids in community so they can see from each other, learn from each other, grow at their own pace, and then start to rethink of how they feel about themselves. So that is why we launched Kids Business Academy, because I was literally getting emails 3 or 4 times a week. Can you help my kids start their business? Or why, everything is so technical or it's very textbooky. How can I get my kid excited at a way that meets them where they are? And so that's why we launched Kids Business Academy. Yeah. And I'm so excited. We just announced a couple of days ago and we have kids signing up and families just excited that one, their kid can get a high school credit over the summer, right? To have
Uh-huh.
credit. Two, they can make their own money. So they stop pulling at mom's pocketbooks.
Mm-hmm.
Three, they can learn all of the things they need to learn from understanding graphic designs and branding and business and REO, all of the things they need to know in business and growth. And a lot on presentation. How are they going to present themselves, their public speaking, and a part that sets us apart, Michelle, or at least I feel like it sets us apart, is I focus a lot on helping children manage their minds in business.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to handle the negative feedback when it hits them online?
Yeah.
How are they going to handle their self-esteem in that, right? How are they going to manage that in conflict with customers and customer service? That's a big part, because the last thing I want to do is have a child who's in a tough spot, put something out on the internet and start to get negative feedback.
Oh.
And so we help them in all of those areas as a big part of what we do to make it a little different for our kids.
Well, that's amazing, because you're online, and people can be cruel.
Mm-hmm.
We spend a lot of time going block, block, block on our Instagram accounts, and especially if you're in the homeschooling world.
Yeah.
And
also things parents don't think about. I can't tell you how many parents have launched kids' businesses, yet they're sending the stuff out of their home, using their home address to ship content. They have photos of their lemonade stand in front of their house with their beautiful young child on the front of it. We have to talk to parents too. And a big part of the work we do is on safety, brand protection. How are you going to manage that? What are you going to do to protect your brand and your child as they're moving online? And what do you need to do? And those are things that are really big part of our work, so that we open that up to conversations the family should be having before they launch, not after they launch.
That's really important. So let's get down to the basics of your program, the Kids Business Academy. What age group is it designed for?
So we let kids in 10 years old, but I would say my middle and high schoolers are pretty much a lot of the. Now I do have 10 and 11-year-olds that hop in, but as I said, we teach a hop off the bus stop type approach.
Okay.
And so just to explain it, everybody's going to start off in the same point. And when
is this online? Is this a
program
online?
But it's going to be live. It's going to be live. So I'm teaching live. So it's the last week, just to tell you guys, we are starting off with an intensive boot camp, which is the last week of June. It's 4 days, Monday through Thursday. An hour in the morning, they're going to do business work with me. Take a lunch break, come back in the hour in the afternoon, and they're going to do intensive branding with my business partner, who's going to do all of the marketing and branding. Then they're going to have work to do. And in the evenings, we'll have office hours. They'll be open for anybody that needs extra help. We're there to support kids where they are. Okay. And when I talk about a hop off the bus approach, we have kids in our academy who are running businesses, who are solid, that need to back up, retweak it. So those kids will probably be with us for all of the sessions. Our kids who are just starting off and are like, I don't know, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do. They may come into our class and spend 20 minutes with us, learn about how to create a business plan, and be launching and spending the rest of the time focusing on their business plan. Does that make sense? So they're going to be there. They're going to be beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and they stay with us as long as they can. So if you are using this as a high school program, expect your child to be there with us the full hours. Okay. And then followed behind that. So the first week is an intensive camp. We're going to come in, we're going to get your business plan. We're going to put it all together, your branding, your marketing. You're going to know how to create your graphic designs, all of the things you need to do in launch. We're going to talk about funding and laws, all of those things. And then for the next 8 weeks, we stay with your kids in intensive masterminds. So they actually get group masterminds with coaching, business groups, and focus groups to stay with them every week through the summer so they don't drop it. Okay. Because so many kids start something and they don't follow through. They just need a little bit of that extra help. So the second part of the group is spread out a little more, right? We're doing an intensive boot camp. We're getting them in. We're getting them started. They're ready to go. And then our next 8 weeks, we're meeting with the kids. They'll have a Marco Polo group that they can send us information and get stuff back from their business coaches. They'll have meetups. They'll get to come in and do intensive workshops in the mastermind. And they'll be able to talk to other young entrepreneurs about price points, focusing, and also getting ideas from other kids who are also running their businesses.
Wonderful.
So we're bringing them in and giving them an intensive to get them up and running so they can make money this summer. And we're going to support them the whole way through it.
That's wonderful. So let's say that somebody's listening to this podcast and they're like, oh, my summer's already jam-packed. Do you have plans for future academies, seminars?
We do. And anybody that signs up can also do the virtual self-paced. The camps, we are recording the camps, sending them out with all the handouts so kids can do self-paced.
Okay.
And then in the fall, we will be launching one in September, assuming our homeschool community wants more classes. We will be launching them in the fall and doing the same thing through the whole fall for our kids.
So you're kind of having like cohorts work together.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you miss this one in June, don't worry, because there are most likely there's going to be more.
Yes, there will be.
There will be.
Yep. And
because it's an exciting program. I can just tell.
We're excited. One of the things, I, as a mom, have kids with businesses, and my kids have business coaches, because even though I run businesses, we run 7 businesses now in our home and launching a foundation. Okay. Even with that, my kids do better hearing from other people and having that outside pull in. And so what we're trying to do is provide a way that our parents who are busy, our working parents, or parents that have a lot going on this summer, your kids can have support without pulling from you for more time, because it can be incredibly intensive helping a child launch a business.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of time.
So this program would be perfect for a parent that has no clue about running a business.
Exactly. And to tell you, we have really tried to do this from a place of a servant's heart. Our camp, our week intensive boot camp, is under $100 for our kids live. We have poured into this and sponsorships and people to help us provide this for kids. It is, I think, $87 with our launch code for the entire live week for our kids. And they can stay with us all summer, all 9 weeks for a little under $270.
Wow.
That is full live intensive brand coaches, focus groups, masterminds. And we're trying to get kids in a mindset of understanding the business world. What is it like to come in and run Zooms? What is it like in your leadership positions? What is that going to be like from executive pricing and looking at your having other people being able to give us input that we receive in a positive way, right? How do we take feedback and look at it in a way to tweak our businesses in a positive way, not just a negative? And so all of those things, and the best part is our camps through this 8 weeks, they only meet with us live every other week. And on the off weeks, they're getting the content virtually, because we know they're busy.
Yeah.
We don't want your kids hanging out with us all summer. We want them out having fun. 4 days intensive, which is about a 2-hour commitment a day. For those 4 days, it's an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. And then if they want open hours, they have it. And the rest of it, we want them out playing, having fun, but having the content they need and the support to get going. That's really our goal. I want kids to enjoy their summer. They need a break too, right?
And again, if you're listening to this and you're like, I can't do it during the summer, it is okay.
It is totally okay.
You most likely are going to have this opportunity again in the fall.
Yes.
And as a parent, as a homeschool parent, we can apply whatever we're doing throughout the whole year on our transcripts. And so even though it's during the summer, it can go onto your kids' transcripts. And if you're doing it, it does not have to happen between the traditional September to May hours. And so as a homeschool parent, you get to count whatever you're doing, whenever you're doing. And so Candice had mentioned that she is saying that this time would be worth about a half a credit.
That's
on
right.
your transcript. But no, as a homeschool parent, if you want to add more time to what they're doing, you could actually make it a full business credit as an elective.
Correct. And we actually give you at the very last day of our mastermind class, extensive work to be able to continue. So we're going to provide you additional resources, business books that we're going to recommend, other ways to advance that at no additional cost for our kids. Because I'm a mom of 2 kids, and entrepreneurship has fundamentally changed their lives. I mean, I had a child who could hardly write a sentence, who didn't know where he wanted to go, felt he'd never go to college, who, when he launched his first business, started to see himself not the way the world told him he was, right? I am an author. I'm a business owner. I am all of these other things. And it changed him fundamentally. And we want to be able to provide that to so many children, because during COVID, a lot of kids have lost many of the things that they had in that stability. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. right? And not everybody has kind of, even though we homeschool, there's been a lot of stressors for kids. And so if we can help them build back that self-esteem, help them manage their mental health, and help them have skills to launch for a lifetime, it
Yeah.
fundamentally can change an entire family's attitude because the child's happy and joyful. Right. And so we figured we'd offer this through the summer because I get a lot of times, I don't want my kid on video games all summer. What is my child going to do? I need a break, right? I need a break, but they need some structure. I don't want them just running around all summer doing nothing. And so we thought it'd be a great, fun way to get kids launching a business when they can focus on that without the busyness of the other schoolwork.
Yeah.
They can laser in on that excitement, passion.
Yeah. So Candice, let's talk a little bit about, when your children are doing really well, homeschooling is simple, right? Like you just throw something.
I don't know,
out.
Mike.
It's like, but it works, right? Like you're not as stressed about it. You're gathering information, but you hit onto something that I've been hearing a lot in the homeschooling community. And that's these 13, 14, 15-year-olds who are clueless right now. And I keep saying to people, I really believe that it's a normal, like in a normal pre-pandemic, kids were like that.
Yes.
But I think with what we just went through with COVID, it's highlighted, and it seems like these kids just can't seem to figure out who they are.
A little more than that too. So let's talk about the flip side of it. Not all our kids are motivated by money. And so entrepreneurship isn't all about business and money. My youngest son has no desire to keep any money. He is the worst business owner at a P&L. He is a philanthropist and gives it all away. Okay. His heart is to serve other families who have service dogs who can't afford the basic needs. So all the profit he makes from his books, everything that he makes ends up going back to serve others. That's how he's wired. So it's not all our kids are wired to make money and want contracts. It's beautiful. But if I can talk to them about one thing that makes them excited, maybe it's the environment. Maybe your kid has a passion for that. Maybe your kid has a passion that is not considered necessarily a business that they're selling product or service, but they have something they genuinely care about. Taking that and putting it into a blog, taking it and putting it into a YouTube channel, taking that and putting it, that passion into a way that they can monetize it to make a difference in this world excites many more children in this generation than just making money.
Yeah.
And so if I have a kid, to get them excited about anything, I really don't care what it is. Some kids like are gaming or just find passion that you love. And then from that, we're going to teach you, how do you take that? What does a business plan look like? What are products and services? What is your brand? Why do you need brand protection? How do you protect yourself online as you're wanting to make a difference in this world? How are you setting your future up? What does it look like for funding, for giving back? All of these things we support kids, because as I would tell you, half the kids I work with care about making the dollars, and half of them care about making a difference in this world. And so this isn't just entrepreneurship for my kid wants to make 5 figures this summer, right? For many kids, they just have something they genuinely care about.
Yeah.
And so can we help them do that in a way that they learn all of these skills around their passion? And then they use those profits to make a difference in this world.
That's wonderful. So Candice, you were talking about blog posts and all of those. It's that we could actually, as a homeschool parent, integrate other educational branches.
Oh, yes.
While you're doing this one subject of starting a business, blog posting and all of that can
graphics
go towards
design, photography, public speaking. We're going to teach them a whole lot about presentation and public speaking and how to present themselves and their passion and ideas. So from public speaking, photography, graphic design, right? There's so much there, from their editing, from their creative writing about their business, from vlogging and then turning them into blog posts for a lot of these kids. There's so many things that they can do. My kids have tons of credits under their entrepreneurship passion, because if I can get them excited about one thing, I can build all the rest. They can learn their accounting and their business accounting and how to look at their spreadsheets and their numbers and their ROI. They can really learn so much more when they're excited about it. It's not like I'm fighting them to do it. They actually care, right? It's not like, oh, I have to do this today. I will tell you, my little guy has been bit by the networking bug. We are here in the Washington, D.C. area and a part of a very large networking group. He went to his first one. This is a child, 14 years old on the spectrum. They invited him to come up because he was the youngest person there, stand up in front of a room of 200 business owners and gave his entire speech on what he does, his business, and how he likes to serve. That kid got booked through Books A Million for a book signing, for an author day, for a fundraiser, and got clients and tons of book sales. But he couldn't have done that without having that background in public speaking, in presentation. He does podcasts. So we teach kids the variety of skills they need to be successful. This isn't just in business, it's just success in life. And so many of our kids are missing the basics of communication. And so we teach them that again. We teach them body language. We talk about how we're presenting ourselves and what our body language talks about when we come off, right? Are we closed off? Are we open? Are we joyful? How are we being received? And so all of those skills are just vitally important to life, even outside of our transcripts, which is, I know as a parent, I was looking for transcripts, but those skills set our kids apart. And then they really set our children apart from their peers in other groups, right? They are stronger in being able to communicate and in their ability to articulate what their passions are.
Well, because I think if they take what the lessons that they can learn through your program, it's going to transcend into everything that they do in the future.
Yeah.
Because every skill that you're learning, even if you're going and end up in corporate America, you're going to have to communicate, like everything that you just listed. You're going to have to do that, even if you're working for somebody else.
Yeah.
So they're great skills. They're great adult onboarding skills.
And we're going to talk about funding and how to really look at other ways to make money besides mom and dad's pocketbook to help you launch. So there's a lot of growth there. And one thing that I want parents to understand, this is, if your children are kind of that 13 and up program, they're probably going to be able to do this without much of your intervention. Okay. If you have a younger child, like I said, our 10 and up, I have some kids who are firecrackers at 9 years old that are literally on their way to six-figure businesses young. That's why we allow a larger brands. I have one child who is been selling on eBay since he was 10, has $250,000 in inventory and making almost six figures consistently, right? So younger kids can do this program, but I would say they need a lot of parent support. Okay. So if you're wanting to know, can my child do this on their own? High schoolers, 100%.
Okay.
Yet it is built for all abilities. So if you have a child that you think is going to struggle, maybe in writing out a business plan or some things, they might need some more support from you. But we will do the teaching. But I just want to make sure everybody knows if they can run on this.
Yeah, because that's important. We need to know what the parents' responsibilities are. So that's great that you covered
So we're going to give live teaching. And if they miss any classes, they get the recording. Because for our kids that are newer now, by the end of the program, they may want to go back and listen to the intermediate or the advanced content later.
Okay.
Right. They might be a beginner today, but 6 months from now, they might want to go back and they have all that at their fingertips. So they can go back.
It's a lifetime. Those lessons are lifetime.
Yeah, we'll send them to them. Yeah, we'll send them to them in the recording. So they can back up and then they'll have all of the downloads. So even if your child wants to participate, but you're on vacation, they can absolutely do the replays and hop into the rest of the 8 weeks with us with no problem.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I've tried to think as a homeschool parent what I need. Right? Yes. What do I need as a homeschool parent? I'm a busy working mom, so I want my kids to be self-sufficient. Don't make me go somewhere else and get more stuff because I hate running around and getting extra supplies for everything. Oh, that drives me nuts. Right? I want it kind of contained and I want to be able to have flexibility and I don't want a huge commitment. Right? I was thinking about what would I want and what are we finding success in? Because there's a lot that doesn't work. And so we've cut out all of that. And so it's myself. And as I said, my branding coach. So I teach the business side and then she teaches our branding. So they're going to learn everything from building logos and graphic designs and even making their commercials, all of that from launch. So they get a business class and a marketing class.
What a great program, Candice.
I'm excited. I'm excited to serve all abilities and speak into children in a way that they feel amazing about themselves, right? That they can take that and own it. And a lot of classes out there, unless you're at a very high level academically, and you're talking about business accounting or high level, there's lots of great stuff out there, but that's just not how every child can get started. Yeah. Sometimes they need that one-to-one, right? A little bit of side-by-side to get started and then they can go.
Well, my favorite programs are programs that any child can take and use. So if somebody has already started the business, they can take your product and they can jump in.
Yes.
If they are extremely shy and they're not really sure, they want to start a business, they can take your program. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes a wonderful homeschool product, is that it can enter any homeschooling home, and it can be a good product for them or a great product for their kids. And so I think that your program will check all of those boxes. And another thing that makes a great homeschool product is being able to integrate it into more than one educational branch. And so your program can do that too. And we can check off all those high school credits and have these wonderful transcripts at the end, you know, and it doesn't make a difference if you are homeschooling more traditionally or if you're an unschooler. You have to be able to capture what your kids are doing and put it on paper and putting it onto a transcript. Mm-hmm. And this is a beautiful way of integrating, no matter if you're traditional or if you're unschooler. That's the huge gamut. You can use this product and it can go towards your high school transcript. So I love that. I love that about your program.
Thank you. I was trying to think as a mom, what would I want and what do I need? And so that's kind of how it came about. And honestly, it came about because we kept getting requests all the time. Can you help my child launch their business? And I'm like, I can't take any more one-to-one clients. So there's got to be a better way. So we're very excited.
Well, and just let's just circle back to that one component. I think it's really important that homeschool high schoolers have community.
Yes.
They need to have, hey, this person looks like me. They're homeschooling differently, but they're interested in the same things I am. Not necessarily they're going to have the same business, but I think community is underrated in the homeschooling community. I think that that's something that was really important to me in my making sure that my 8 children had that sense of belonging or having other people to talk to. And so I think that's actually a huge bonus to your program, having that community.
Well, I think it's the best way for kids to see success, that they're not alone, and to see that other young business owners have the same struggles. Because it's not all the great stuff.
Important. Yeah.
It is. They need to see the struggles and that to how to persevere, how to look at it, overcome and keep going, right? Learning that grit, learning that no happens. Let's not give up because it was a no, right? So we address that, and to help in community makes a big difference. And then for the older kids, get an opportunity to mentor younger kids, not even older, but further along in their business. Our kids who are here can help someone else in a way that they do peer-to-peer lifting up and learn leadership skills, right? They get that opportunity for leadership.
Yeah. Well, Candice, it's coming to the end of the podcast, and I'm so excited that you are launching this product. Could you tell us your web address so people know where to either sign up or get on your waiting list?
Yes. So kidsbusinessacademy.com. All one word, kidsbusinessacademy.com. Simple. If you go on there, you can sign up, be on our wait list, and receive some free information on things you need to know for child safety before your child starts a business. Wonderful. That's kind of a big one. And then hang out with us, get lots of content there, and they're ready for sign up.
Well, thank you, Candice. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I wish you much success.
Thank you. And I always love being with you. Thank you very much for letting me share with your community.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. If today's vendor has a product or service that you think would support your homeschool journey, you can check out their links in the show notes below, or you can learn more about today's vendor and other resources in our Facebook community, which you can find at facebook.com/groups/high school curriculum spotlight. Also, if there is a specific vendor that you would like me to interview, I would love for you to DM me on any of my socials. You can find me at Homeschool Directive on both Facebook and Instagram. And one last thing, if you have a friend who is also homeschooling a teen and you think they would benefit from today's podcast, would you please share it with them? Because we could all use a little help here to make our homeschooling journey stronger. Again, thank you for joining me today. Until next time, goodbye.